It's now been 3 years since the attack on the country's capital. Tens of thousands of Trump supporters descended on Washington for a rally before breaching the Capitol building following a speech by former President Donald Trump. 5 people died in the chaos and 140 police officers were hurt. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm Amber Nagel.
And I'm Brandon Taylor. Saturday marks 3 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol, an unprecedented time in American history, exposing the reality of how misinformation has shaped the polarization of our country's politics. President Biden arrived in Valley Forge on the eve of this January 6th to address the nation, formally kicking off his campaign for 2024.
Our political reporter Darielle Fair spoke with Wisconsin's Democratic Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, who's currently in Washington to commemorate this historic event. Darielle.
It was a horrific day for those watching as a mob of far-right conservatives stormed the nation's capital, motivated by claims that the 2020 election had been stolen and that former President Donald Trump had been fraudulently held from taking office. Evidence released after the incident would later reveal that to be false, serving as the catalyst into an investigation alleging Trump incited the insurrection. With this being the first election since the event took place 3 years ago, I asked Lieutenant Governor Rodriguez her thoughts on whether we could see a similar situation like this happen again if the results on election night did not favor the Republican Party.
We have to listen to what former President Trump is saying, what his plans are for the nation, and believe him when he says that he wants to go ahead and do a nationwide abortion ban, that he wants to remove health care access through the Affordable Care Act, that he wants to reduce Medicare and Medicaid benefits.
During his remarks near Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, Biden said Trump was a threat to democracy. Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel said in a statement that President Biden's campaign speech was a divisive tactic to mislead Americans, stating the administration's failures have led to families not being able to pay their bills, children dying from fentanyl overdoses, and terror suspects crossing the open southern border. McDaniel going on to say Biden has done enough damage and should not be elected for a second term. I reached out to Republican members of Wisconsin's congressional delegation and the Republican Party of Wisconsin. They were not available for comment. I'll have you covered with more from the Lieutenant Governor and the steps the Republican Party is taking to ensure Trump's name is included on the ballot for states like Colorado and Maine in this year's election.